you need to stop doing CCI. Yes, you heard me right. This is a CCI security certified person telling you that you need to stop doing CCI. Hi guys, my name is Sukesh and I'm here to tell you why you should not be doing a CCIE certification or going for its training even. Forget about getting a lab certified or going for the global exam. I am also telling you about why you should not be doing CCIE trainings. Guys, if we talk about, hang on, if we talk about the entire security market share, let me tell you there is a very little share that comes to Cisco. I am into security, so I'm going to talk about security track of it. Cisco is struggling when it comes to security market. Their firewall, they started with Cisco Pix, which is outdated, beaten to dust, and nobody uses it now. Then came Cisco ASA, which is there in the network. There is still a demand of Cisco ASA, but the demand is only to migrate ASA to some other vendor, maybe Checkpoint or Palo Alto or Fortinet or any other firewall. In the job descriptions, they would say that you should know Cisco ASA, but you need this knowledge only to migrate that to some other firewall. And along with this, they would also ask you to have the knowledge of any of these firewalls. These are typical job descriptions these days. See, a candidate spends a lot of time, a lot of money doing these Cisco certifications. If you talk about, especially, I see freshers coming up with CCIE certifications. God, please stop wasting your money. We have wasted enough money doing useless courses in graduation. If we talk about our Indian education system, graduation is 1 3 year or 4 year waste of time, waste of money, waste of efforts. You don't learn anything which is productive enough, which can land you a job. Impossible. You cannot get a job just on the basis of your engineering degree or any other graduation degree. You don't get it, right? Which means you have to study those things which are in demand, not just popular. Yes, these are two tricky words, I would say. Cisco certifications are popular, but they are not in demand. Being popular is not equal to in demand. Let me explain you how this works. Cisco is very good at sales, Cisco is very good at marketing. Cisco has made curriculums of their certifications in such a way that it includes their new devices and new upcoming technologies that they want to sell in the network. Sell those technologies or those devices to their clients, so that you people, the engineers, learn those products and can give good support to their clients. So this is how the Cisco model works of certifications, which is good. But the problem is when it's only the certification which is popular and not the particular device that they've included in those certification. For example, if I talk about CCNA security, we come back to CCI as well. If I talk about CCNA security gets a lot of good stuff. We have studied a lot of good stuff in engineering also, in our other graduation degrees also, but you don't use that now. Same is the case with CCNA security. It has got a lot of material to study, a lot of things to study in when it comes to security, but when it comes to usability and day-to-day jobs, it is not up to the mark, guys. I am hearing things like if I have to learn firewall, I have to do CCNA security. Bullshit. This is not the case. If you are CCNA routing and switching, CCNP routing and switching, and when I say CCNA routing and switching and CCNP routing, I'm not talking about certification, guys. It is good that you have CCNA routing switching certificate, but because that is an entry point for you in the network. But that's it. You can stop there when it comes to certification. You just have to learn things and keep learning things. When you are done doing routing and switching, you are good with the basics. You have a strong understanding of how network works. That's it. You can go up to an advanced level, and you should go up to an advanced level in routing and switching, where it includes BGP, MPLS, and other important things which are there in the market. So these things cover that. So these are the courses that you should be studying. And once this part is done, you can immediately jump to firewall. And since you have been studying CCNA, CCNP, Cisco courses, that does not mean that you have to study a Cisco firewall. No, all the firewall, their functionalities are same. You don't have to go for CCNA security or CCNP security to get a job in security. I've been getting many requests that, sir, I want a job in security, so I have to do CCNA. I want to do CCNA security. And I'll be telling that, guys, no, this is not the way to do it. CCNA security is not going to help you out. I'll tell you a typical job description that you get today is the employer want routing and switching. Along with it, they want firewall. Along with it, they want load balancers, right? So if you have these skills, nobody is going to ask you for certification. I am a CCI security. I've been getting jobs, quitting jobs, getting new ones, not because I am a CCI security. It is because I have got skills. I've got routing switching skills. I've got MPLS skills. I've got load balancer skills. I've got multi-vendor skills. I've got skills which are not popular but in demand. You need to understand the difference here. This has become a common word. CCNA security will is equal to learning firewalls is equal to jobs in security. No, this is not happening. Let me clear this up. If you are looking for a job in security, you've got to learn firewall. And guys, I see people taking this term firewall very seriously as if this is a very complicated device. I understand that this is an important device in the network, and this is where the security starts. This is the most basic device, I would say, when it comes to security. So you don't have to afraid of the term. You don't have to take it too seriously. It is just a networking device with some routing skills and also a lot of security skills on it. You don't have to uh, you don't have to be afraid of this term. You don't have to be think that you cannot do this without doing security basics. This is the basic of security. Don't let people fool you that you have to do CCNA security to learn firewall. No, you can straight away learn firewall. And I recommend when I'm talking about security jobs, I'm talking about firewall and not just Cisco firewall. I am talking about, along with Cisco ASA, I am also talking about Checkpoint Firewall, Palo Alto Firewall, Fortinet Firewall. These are some of the vendors which are very popular. And I told you, Cisco ASA is disappearing. You need Cisco skills only to migrate it to any other checkpoint or any other firewall, which means you've got to learn ASA, but along with that, you have to learn the new firewalls as well. And this you can do without doing CCNA security. If you look at the CCNA security syllabus defined by Cisco, it's only hardly 20 or 30% of it is including Cisco ASA, and that too overview of it. That's it. Which means you're spending a good money on CCNA security, and then if you go by the track and all, then you learn CCNP security, which has got 5 track, which will include firewall, VPN, IPS, IDS. These are some of the other devices which are there in the security field. And then you have Cisco ICE. So out of all this, what is your take out of CCN and CCNP? Say for on an average, if I say that you pay 10,000, let's calculate it by money. That's how a lot of people understand. You pay approximately, on an average, I would say 10,000 for CCNA security, 10,000 for each of these courses, and in most cases it is more than 10. So let's take a round figure. So which means you have spent 50,000 on this. And since you have learned all this, you would also want to do CCIE security as per the trend that I am seeing, which means the training and the certification cost will take you somewhere around 2,50,000, which means right from CCNA to CCIE, you have spent 3 lakh rupees to learn what? That is the only device which is there in the market. Along with, obviously, Cisco ICE, that's another product. Apart from it, there is nothing that you take out of it. I am telling this out of my experience. I have been CCI security, and this is when you do it in the first attempt, and it's a difficult exam to crack on first attempt. Okay, I don't say that it is impossible. You could do it, but most people don't crack it in first attempt, which means you end up paying more. So 3 lakh plus for learning these two devices, mastering these two devices, out of which this is end of life, disappearing from the network. This is doing good, but the problem is you don't have too many jobs around this. You need to understand what jobs are you're going to get into networking. Most jobs, most easily available jobs are into support. So when you get into a support job, you don't get to work on ICE on a day-to-day basis. This is already, things are already set up and other stuff. So I'm gonna not talk about ICE right now. So the whole take out of this is you pay this much money only to learn Cisco ASA. In the upgraded courses, of course, you've got Cisco Firepower, which is an desperate attempt by Cisco by acquiring a company and clubbing the product of the new company and their legacy ASA firewall, making up a new product called Cisco ASA with Firepower feature, which is not very adaptive, I would say. So that's about not doing things. Now, the question is, what should you do? Let's look into it now. The ultimate goal of doing these courses is that you're looking for a job, and I'm 100% correct on this point. So when you're looking for a job, you've got to study things which are in demand. And how do you see that what is in demand? You go to any job portal, look at their job descriptions. Just look for what are the required skills in those job descriptions. If you look at the jobs which were posted like years ago, let me talk about 5 years back. Routing and switching, CCNA, CCNA routing switching, CCNP routing switching, along with MPLS knowledge and probably CCNA certification would guarantee you a job into networking. This was 5 years back. If you talk about the trends today, employers are like, okay, you know routing switching. What else? I've got 1,000 plus candidates for this job profile who are good with routing and switching. Why should I hire you? Which means you've got to have additional skills, right? And those skills now require security involved with this. Now, when it comes to security, the very basic device here is firewall. Now, this is not necessary that it could be any particular vendor firewall. When we talk about routing and switching, it is either Cisco or Juniper. These are the two major players when it comes to routing and switching, right? But when it comes to security, there are many other players. And Cisco and Juniper, they are not the major shareholders of this market. Firewall market is captured by two leading vendors, which are Checkpoint and Palo Alto. So we've got to study these things. But of course, Cisco ASA has captured a lot of market, or I would say had captured a lot of market, which is now getting disappeared, now getting migrated into either Checkpoint or Palo Alto, getting replaced by the new ones. So you've got to study these things. The other thing which you should be studying is F5, which is the load balancer. This is a typical job description these days. You have to have switching skills. You have to have at least two firewall knowledge, at least two, not even one. You should know at least two firewalls. Along with that, you should at least know F5 load balancer. A minimum of it, you should do LTM, local load balancing. This is what you should learn. And you need to learn these things because these are the things which are in demand now. Employers are looking for these skills in a candidate, not just routing switching. A CCIE certification, if I talk about, it is not going to give you these skills. And if you don't have these skills, what makes you think that you'll get a job? Just because you have a CCIE certification? No. I understand the CCIE certification is an expert level certification, and it it does have a value, but it is not as good as these skills. Just imagine, just think from an employer's perspective. There is a candidate, okay, who has got routing and switching skills, CCNP level, okay, which means BGP and MPLS. He has good understanding of that. He has skills on firewall, probably Checkpoint or plus Cisco, and he also knows LTM. He also has a little bit understanding of virtualization. And on the other hand, there is this candidate who is only CCIE, either routing, switching, or security. Okay. So who do you think the employer is going to consider? CCIE has no idea about checkpoint. CCIE has no idea about load balancing. CCIE has no idea about virtualization. He only has an idea about Cisco certification and Cisco products, which are lacking in security field. I'm telling again and again. So you've got to learn or got to do these job-oriented courses, which are in demand in the industry. And when you are upskill as per the job descriptions or the required skills, why do you think that you will not get a job? You don't have to run behind lucrative offers of doing CCIE and getting a guaranteed job placement. You are investing 3 lakh rupees into that certification to get few skills and may or may not be a job, because no one can guarantee, no one can force an employer to cut down on their job description. I, as a training institute, cannot tell an employer that, okay, you cannot ask for checkpoint certification, you cannot ask for load balancing knowledge, or you cannot ask for the upcoming futuristic technologies like virtualization and SDN stuff. You cannot do that. Employer would ask as per their requirement, and the requirement is increasing day by day, right? Just take your example. When did you start using a smartphone? Probably in your college or late in 11th or 12th standard. But you look at the kids these days. One year or 2 year kid can easily navigate through your smartphone. What does that mean? The technology is changing. The time is changing. You've got to upskill yourself. So doing just routing and switching, or doing an expertise in just one particular field is not going to help you. You've got to be multi-vendor. You've got to be multi-vendor. You have to have multi-vendor skill. You build up multi-vendor skill and you don't have to worry about jobs. At least once in a month you will say no to an offer. Mark my words. At least once in a month you will say no to a consultancy or a company that, no, I'm not looking for a job change right now, because those skills are in so much of demand. To know more about these multi-vendor things, multi-vendor courses, or discuss about things that we have discussed, or if you have questions or comments that you want to share with us, there are links in the description, there are details in the description. You can go through that and contact us. Have a good time. Happy learning. Don't do CCIE. Thank you.